I felt so lost. I didn't know who I was. I was so afraid of everything and everyone. And then when I held my daughter,
Best feeling in the world.
oh my God, I remember thinking, oh my God, what have I done? Yeah. And I think what upset my wife a lot more was that everyone treated her like this unwitting, unknowing, weak female, which she isn't.
大家好, hello everyone, I'm Allan Wu and welcome to another exciting episode of Call Us Daddy.
1, 2, 3, yeah!
Today I'm really excited to have with me a very special guest. His name is Julian Ang. He is actually, how do I say, someone who's in a very special relationship because of his orientation, I'll say though too. I'm gonna go right into it. Obviously you identify as being gay, but you're married and you also have a daughter. I understand from a lot of people see you as bisexual, but I know you don't identify as bisexual. Why is that? Even though you have a daughter and you have a wife.
So you're asking me, am I sexually attracted to women? No. Straight up. I don't think I ever have. I think what happened to me in my youth when it did happen with women was...
Or with your girlfriend, or what your best friend at that time.
It was about me, and it was very selfish. When you're a young man, and I think women are right. Men think with...
with the other head.
Yes.
In general,
right? Yeah. So they're right, and I admit it.
But then they'll say, obviously as a guy, you're not bi. Then how did you have a child? How did you get that far? Obviously, it just happens, right? Something just happens at that age.
A lot of this, I think, comes from people wanting to project their own biases and beliefs on you, because they don't get it. It's alien to them, and so they can only project what they're familiar with on someone else, which is not fair. Yeah. Right? And that happens a lot. So how do I know? I just know. My wife had gone to Canada for a graduation trip. Okay. Met her there. Didn't quite like her, but we started talking, and then we developed this long distance relationship where we would write letters and. I liked her enough as a person. We got quite close. We started talking about stuff and a lot of intellectual stuff that we still do talk about. There is a part of me that sort of when I want to take her out from this kind of a messy family that she had. And I made that promise to her and I felt that I wanted to do it as well. I think I was the one who suggested marriage after 5 years. And I think at the time, because of the generation that we grew up in, I felt maybe I could make it work.
Can I ask, how old are you?
I'm 50.
50, okay.
So I thought I could make it work. I thought I could be somebody else.
Make it work in a sense, I guess. I wouldn't say being bisexual, I guess, or could you just be heterosexual, or do you think you would?
I thought I could be bisexual.
Okay.
I thought I could be bisexual because my wife knew. She knew everything.
Everything. You guys are such good friends, right? Yeah. All of your conquests, all of your adventures, all your everything.
Most of it. She knew about this before we got into marriage, and I thought I could make it work. I honestly thought I could make it work. There was, of course, the societal pressures, parental pressures, the Asian thing where you gotta get married, gotta have kids.
Absolutely, yeah, 5 C's, everything.
I thought I could make it work because I was in Canada. I like Asians, right? So everything else kind of doesn't work for me. So we got married and I thought if we stayed there, I'm pretty good, right? Because we're a minority. But she had to come back for work. And then I do remember thinking, holy shit, I'm screwed.
Because at that time, there weren't as many Asians in Canada, right?
No. This was, it was just starting, but it wasn't.
Yeah, not like now.
And when she had to come back, I do remember thinking, oh my God, what am I going to do? How am I going to make this work? But we had already been married and I made the commitment and I didn't want to go back on it. I don't like to say something and then go back on it. And so I came back, tried to make it work. Very quickly, I was discovered with a guy, and I think this was within a year of me coming back.
This is you two are already married. She discovered you with a guy, without her consent. And how did she react?
We thought, we discussed divorce and we discussed annulling the marriage. But I decided that, you know what, I've made a promise. We have the house. We didn't have any kids yet. We had the house, and I, again, thought I could make it work. And so I did my best to make it work. And we had a girl, we had a daughter.
How old is she now?
She's 19.
19. Wow. Okay. About same as mine. Yeah.
My daughter's 19 now. But over the years, in retrospect, I can see this. In retrospect, what had happened was I lived a double life. In fact, any of the online personas I had was under a moniker.
Okay.
I never put my real name out there. And I decided that, especially after my daughter was born, because I wanted to protect them.
Yes, absolutely.
And I still do. But part of the reason that I've recently just come out to everybody about this is because my daughter's old enough. And they've been quite supportive. Right?
Yeah, I know you recently came out on Dare Straight People.
Do your wife and daughter know that you're doing this interview?
Yes.
That's why I first caught wind of it. I think it's a fascinating story, but I look at it, I'm thinking, what prompted you and your wife at this time to decide to have a child? Even though you knew, like, deep down inside, obviously she's probably your best friend, someone you have known for a long time, you guys are connected on another level, but maybe not, I would say, physically attracted because she's the wrong gender. But then why did you guys decide to have a child
I wanted
together?
to have a kid too.
You did, huh?
I did. I wanted to have a kid too.
And she did too?
And she did too, and we were trying for about 3 years. But to be very honest, I don't remember how it happened. But we did, and I don't regret it. I do remember when my daughter was born, my wife was so tired, she didn't want to take the baby, and the nurse cleaned the baby up, and she handed me the baby. And I recoiled and I went, what do you want me to do with this? And she goes, hold it lah. Okay. And then when I held my daughter,
Best feeling in the world.
oh my God, I remember thinking, first thought was, oh my God, what have I done? Wow. That was my first thought. I was like, oh my God, what have I done?
Especially for you, in your situation.
But changed my life. I don't regret having my daughter, ever. I don't regret getting married. I don't regret having the relationship that I have with my wife now. The love has changed, but we've grown together.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's been a wild journey, but this double life took its toll.
I can only imagine, on you, on her, the level of understanding and I think acceptance for your daughter.
It was stressful for me.
I can imagine.
My teenage depression came back with a vengeance.
After becoming a father, or just the whole period?
Well, the whole thing just sort of spiraled, and by the time 2014 came around, I was deep in depression. I was addicted. I had a bad addiction. And I couldn't hold the job down. I felt so lost. I didn't know who I was. I was so afraid of everything and everyone. I nearly died several times.
During that time versus right now too, looking back, if you did not have that daughter with your current wife, do you think you two would still be together? Or do you think you would have obviously all the amount of, I wouldn't say pain and suffering, the amount of confusion, I'm sure a huge driving force for you and your wife now to stay together is for the sake of your daughter. I think for a lot of parents too, a lot of people I know, a lot of times the love is run out, even in a normal straight relationship. For me too, where you think we are just very, very different people now. We grow together or we grow apart. But for the sake of our children, we try and stick together as long as we can. That's for normal. I'm not saying you're not normal. I'm just saying for a straight couple. But I can imagine all the added amount of, computations, or I think all the other factors you have to take into consideration. Do you think you guys would get to a point to say, look, okay, we tried, you're my best friend, I love you, but obviously I'm gay, I don't really see myself here, but do you think you could still be together, or do you think could you live that double life, or where would you be?
I think that if we didn't have my daughter, I would feel really bad about holding my wife back. And I think that's where this conversation started just a couple of years ago, right?
Yeah.
I felt I wasn't fulfilling my duties as a husband in a more physical sense. And I mean, she's Christian, so in that religious sense, I felt I wasn't fulfilling that. And we had this discussion. And the option came up again for a divorce.
Now that she's older too.
Yeah, and my daughter was 15 at the time.
Oh, 15, okay.
And we had this discussion, and I think by that time, we discussed it, and my wife said the sweetest thing ever. She said, I will never find anyone who will match me intellectually as you do. Wow. And so no, we're not going to get a divorce.
I think right now in this current state, do you have someone outside?
Me?
Yeah.
I have a boyfriend, yeah.
You have a boyfriend, yeah, okay. And she's okay with that?
Somebody had gone to her and said, hey, Julian's been seen outside with another guy several times, and he seems really happy, and his social media thing makes him look really, really happy. Are you okay? Do you know? And I think what upset my wife a lot more was that everyone treated her like this unwitting, unknowing, weak female, which she isn't. She's just not that kind of person, right? And she's just gotten very tired of people sort of treating her that way and thinking that she doesn't know what's going on, and that I'm going to run away with the money and all that stuff. One of the things that I feel that should be in every relationship,
yes, the foundation,
is communication and being able to talk about it. And I've spent many years sort of living that double life where I didn't communicate. My daughter's getting older, and I've always wanted her to learn that, communication is key in everything that you do.
Absolutely.
And at this point, a couple of years ago, I felt I'm not doing that. And so I started on this journey where I wanted to tell my wife everything. I wanted to tell my daughter everything and just be real. Also, part of the reason why I wanted to do this was I got absolutely sick and tired of people attempting to blackmail me, threaten me. I've had a lot of that.
Blackmail you in what sense? To let the cat out of the bag? To tell your wife?
Yeah.
Or
Oh, if you don't do this, or if you don't have sex with me, I'm going to tell your wife. And if you don't meet me, I'm going to go to your house and I'm going to ring the bell. I'm going to...
Oh, wow.
Stuff like that. I've had a lot of that. And I just got very tired of it. Yeah. It's this fear of, what are you going to do to my family? What are you going to say to them? What's my family going to think after you say this to them, right? And I realized once I came clean, it was quite unfounded.
Came clean in the sense of just letting your wife know everything?
Look, this is what's happening.
Open book.
Right? I came out to my straight friends. I got on this journey where I realized if you tell the truth, the real people will stay.
Yes, you'll know who your friends are.
And the rest of them can just, bugger off. When the Stereotype People video came out,
Yeah.
I was so...
How did you feel? Yeah, when you came out, so many views, it went viral. I think, did you have any apprehension going into it? I'm sure.
I did.
Yeah. I could see it when I saw it. I was like, okay, this is very brave. I can see you're also like, obviously you're very honest, you're very pure, but it's also like, okay, like, this is it, this is gonna come out.
I was afraid of what they would do to my family.
Who's they?
The heterosexual friends and the people from church, and what they would say to them, how they would react. And it did very quickly. My wife was like, "Oh, it started." They're all asking me, am I okay? Is Julian going to run with your money? Is he going to do this? Is he going to dump the family and so on? And almost immediately, my wife every few days my wife would go, look, don't worry. I'm not abandoning you. We're not abandoning you. We're still here.
Yeah, your wife sounds like an amazing,
She is. I'm so
amazing
blessed.
soul.
I am
know?
so blessed.
I need to get her on this show too.
I've had some very interesting responses as well, to be fair. I've had a lot of people, like I was recently in Taipei for Pride. I'm divorced, I have a kid, should I tell my kid? I have a family, should I tell my wife? And I'm like, I can't tell you yes or no.
Yeah, it's not that simple.
It's between you and your family, and you have to understand, are you going to lose everything? Are you ready to lose that? You know what I mean? This is a decision that society put on us, and we acted on it, right? There were the biases. We acted on it to survive. What I went through as a Gen X would be different from a millennial and Gen Z, whatever, right?
Gen Alpha, all that.
Whatever. It's very different,
Very, very
right?
different. Yeah.
I've had even boomers, or the older guys, come up and go, I'm glad you make this decision because I made it when I divorced my wife 20, 30 years ago, right? I've also had very negative comments. He's gay, he's bi, he's just cheating on the wife, all sorts of bad stuff, right? If you knew he was gay, why did you go and do it in the first place, right? If I knew what kind of trouble and what kind of pain I would be putting my wife through and the unfairness and how unkind it would be, I don't think I would have done it. But I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I brought my daughter into this world. Does she have to suffer because of me now, living this life? What if people find out? Will she suffer? Right? Have I done them wrong? And I don't quite have the answers right now, still. My wife is telling me, yeah, you did some wrong, but you did some right. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, that's life. That's what we do.
None of us are perfect.
Right? And there are certain things that she doesn't agree with. So for her, because it's a religious perspective, she goes, I know if I ask you to be monogamous with me, you will. But I will have to deal with a depressed face for the rest of my life. And I don't want that. Right? But I disagree with the non-monogamy.
Monogamous only with other women or also with men?
She didn't quite say, but I suspect it doesn't matter.
Yeah, okay. Both
It
genders.
doesn't matter, right? So for her, it's the fact that I'm not monogamous in that respect, which is fair enough. That's her belief. That's her faith. That's her belief, right? But she also has said, I just want you to be happy. You've been depressed and suicidal for so many years, right? And we're finally seeing so much better version of you.
More joy, right? More resolution. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not so stressed. I'm not so angry as a person anymore. We have a fantastic relationship with the family, right? People go and tell us, wow, you and your family, you and your daughter are, you're like friends. You're not like, we bitch at each other, we make fun of each other, we get snarky with each other. But when it does come down to the crunch, I'm like, okay, don't do that. I say, okay. So I'm very blessed to have a girl like that. She's wise, she's funny, right? And she can be very mature, right? And a wife who does understand this, and she can be bochap about it. She's like, I don't care what the others say. I don't care what they think anymore. They can think whatever. Because we're still a family. Those are our words. We're still a family. We both have needs that we may not be able to fulfill for each other.
Okay.
And that's just human beings.
But what if, let's say, I'm going to present you, what if one day she says, you have your cake and eat it too? I want to be able to have my cake and eat it too.
We've had this discussion.
Yeah. So then let's say if I want to go out there, go on a dating site. Yeah, obviously you don't have a double standard yet. Go ahead. But then it's up to her. Has she ever explore that.
Oh, she's like, oh, I can't be bothered anymore. I mean, at our age, you know, she can't be. She's like,
I know it takes. Yeah, it's a lot different than when you're 20s or 30s. You know,
So now she's, you know,
you have your family.
Even if I do, you have to manage my finances. You just have to do this, because you're still good at it and I'm shit at it. Okay, you know.
Any relationship is tough, whether it's straight, gay. You know, I think it's hard. Relationships are tough. I mean, I was in a relationship that didn't work out too. You know, but I think it takes a level of understanding, trust, and just love for the other individual to see them happy. You know, in this day and age, it's so easy to quit, to see you too, despite all these things thrown at you too. For the sake of your daughter, for the love of you, for the love of her, let's make this work. It's a testament to the way you feel about each other though too. You should be so proud of yourself.
We just want to make it work.
Looking back at your entire life, now that you turn this significant, monumental 50 years old, you know, what would you say would be your biggest regret? Do you have any regrets?
I can't say I don't have any regrets, but I don't think it's fair to say them in retrospect.
Yeah.
You know, would I be a person as I am now? Would I be more as aware as I am now?
Yeah, as wise, you know,
You know, would I still have been that angry, you know,
adolescent teenager or young person? Or?
yeah, angry person in the rat race?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Would I still be that? Do I want to be like that?
Yeah.
Right. And I can't quite tell. It's been tough.
It's been tough, I think. But I think, imagine if you never came out. That would probably be your biggest regret, right? But I mean, coming out, you know what you're attracted to, but then you added a whole new level of complexity with this marriage and then becoming a father. Yeah. You know, but then it sounds like it's really worked out, and you've reached a point of acceptance.
If I hadn't done all this, I'd probably have did.
I want to present you a scenario. Yeah. Let's say you have a really, really good friend, or you had a son who was gay, and then they were in your situation where they really, really wanted to try and be straight too, and they decided wanted to marry this woman, even though they knew they were gay, and then decided to have a kid too. After all the joys and all the triumphs you had, and all the pain, all the discrimination that you've been through, would you condone that? Would you tell this son or this best friend that is openly gay, but obviously is very, very, I won't say, but still wants to try and live a so-called normal life, a married life with a woman and start a family? Would you after everything you've been through, would you say you should go for it? You say like, well, you better really think this through because...
Would the woman know?
Huh? The woman would, I guess that's good. I think with your, she would have to know, I think. Yeah, she would definitely know.
If she knew, and she's going in with eyes open, go for it.
Go for it, yeah.
But if you think that she's not going to know, or guess, or that you can live a double life, don't do it.
That is crazy, because I remember when I used to be in Taiwan, I was a VJ for MTV, and I used to go to bars, and there was this person I met that was married and had a family and was totally openly gay. This is probably like 20, 25 years ago. I never understood how he did it, you know? So it's so interesting. It's almost full circle to come here today and hear your story. You know, it's fascinating. It's the amount of like just unconditional love, which is just pure love. It's, for me, I always thought unconditional love can only come from a parent for a child and vice versa. But what I see with you and your wife here too, I mean, obviously, conditionally, you know, I think you are not, obviously you're more attracted to guys, you know, but then somehow you've been able to make it work. That is something so rare. It's so to be cherished, I think, too. Yeah.
I'm blessed. I don't know what else to say. I mean, I'm blessed to have her in my life, right? We talk about all sorts of stuff. I'm sure. She's not a dumb blonde.
All right, if there's any last, just one chunk of insight or advice you can impart to our audience, what would you want to tell them? If you had to just distill and sum up everything, like, would you say, you know, just something like more, I think, listen to your heart, or just, you know, just trust your gut, or just sometimes people aren't gonna, you know, understand you, but, or it's better just to kind of keep it quiet, or what would you?
I would say, be you, trust the process, and be very kind to yourself.
And on that note, I want to thank everyone for this very special, educational, and insightful episode of Call Us Daddy with Julian right here. I know it's been such an honor. I think just hear you talk about this. I know it's not easy, and I wish you and your wife all the very, very best, and thank you so much. If you like this episode, like the show, don't forget to hit the like button and also subscribe for more exciting episodes coming up. And awesome, man. You take care, be well, and happy 50th birthday.
Thank you.